All right, it's time to make an update on another one of my New Year's resolutions. I'm recording this on January 8th, 2021. Last year, when we first went into the quarantine, I got into a number of road rage kind of situations because I was pretty upset that when there was nothing to rush about, right? Nobody was rushing to work, nobody was rushing to get back home just to lock up. I was really trying to enjoy the scenery on the highway. I was driving 35 on a 55, and people would get very angry at me. And I would get pretty angry myself because I'm like, what's the hurry? You're going to hurry in order to go home in order to be lonely again? And I would just get angry at people, honk my horn. Sometimes we would get to a red light, and I would literally get out of my car to kind of lecture this person about why not enjoy this nice drive, and I would just get angry like that. I used to have a lot of big problems like that. Um, I would get very angry if I got lost and I was looking for directions when people would honk at me. Now, last year I also had major eating disorder problems. I would get a food craving while I'm on the road, and sometimes that would just make me edgier and edgier, and then all of a sudden somebody doesn't want to enjoy the drive, and that just puts me over the edge. I used to have addiction problems like that. I used to have a major addiction to masturbating. I still do, but in a much more controlled way. I was out in Ellensburg one time on my way to Vantage. I love to go there to look at the night sky. Last year, Jupiter and Saturn were coming closer and closer and closer. They're still going to be very close when they emerge from the other side of the sun. So, in a few weeks, we'll be able to see Jupiter and Saturn at daybreak. And I hope to catch them on the morning side of things as well because they'll be rising from the east. So, I have a few good vantage points for that. Now, one time I was in Ellensburg. It was about 7 or 8 p.m. I was getting ready to go to Vantage just after sunset to view something. This was during the summer. And I was thinking about going to a grocery store nearby to pick up a few things before I head out to Vantage because I usually stay there overnight. And as I was thinking about this, I wanted to go to the grocery store, and I have comforters in my car. I was thinking about parking there, putting my comforters over myself, and doing my business. I was thinking about masturbating, and I got so anxious about going to do that I made a wrong turn and went against traffic. They were working on construction at this time. This was back in June. Construction had been halted for a couple of months because of COVID-19, and they were finally getting back to construction. And so they had closed off one direction of two of these streets, and I went on the wrong one, going the wrong way. And that's the kind of trouble I run into with my addiction problems. A food craving, a masturbating craving, any sort of craving, and all my driving focus goes out the window. That's why it was so important for me to work on some of these addiction problems. Uh, I still masturbate, but I do it in a much more controlled way. Only at home, when I'm relaxed, not when I'm trying to think about how to jam 10 minutes in between two events or in between meetings at work. No more of that. I haven't masturbated in the workplace again. I used to do that a lot, actually, believe it or not. We had a bathroom that, it's just one stall, and I could just go in there and lock the door and masturbate. Except that I bet people know I was doing it. I mean, it's kind of hard to wash up. Kind of funny when we heard the advice to wash your hands for 20 seconds. I mean, I'm pretty used to that because I had to wash after masturbating at the workplace. Another time I ran into road rage. This one was a few years ago, actually. I had pulled up to a red light. I'm on my way to work. I pulled up to a red light, and all of a sudden, I got very overwhelmed with things. I was thinking about some meetings that I needed to go to and what I was going to say. I was thinking about a client that I needed to negotiate something with. And then I was thinking about my girlfriend at the time. I wanted to propose to her, and I was anxious about that, and I was nervous about my time as a single guy coming to an end. I just got very overwhelmed, and I instantly got dizzy, like a massive headache. And as a result, the light turned green twice, and I didn't see it. And the guy behind me was so upset that he got out of his car and went up to my window to see what was going on. And I was still lost in thought. And then he pounded on my window. And then I got really angry at him, and I screamed something at him. And that's the stuff that used to confuse me. I find it helpful when I'm having these racing thoughts like that to jot it down. Because once I write it down and I commit it to paper, I can throw it out of my head for some reason. Anyways, today I had an interesting problem. See, the place I'm living at in Wallace, we don't have very good cell phone signals. And so if I need to go somewhere, I actually have to get on the highway first before I could punch in the GPS. And sometimes when I get on the highway and I'm going really slowly so I can punch something into the GPS, people get very upset at me. And today I just let that roll off of me. And I'm thinking about doing that more. As long as I'm enjoying it and staying safe, maybe I shouldn't let those things bother me. Things like that used to really upset me, and then after I programmed my GPS, I would chase after this guy, honk my horn at him. And I think it also helps that I'm no longer having these food cravings, because it's one less barrier to dealing with some of these things. Anyways, 1 week into the resolution, already some progress. I had a very good year last year with my resolution, so I'm hoping to repeat that this year. Thanks for watching.